everyone. Welcome to another interesting episode of Experience with Bemi. Right? Oh, yes, I know it's been a minute, but yes, I'm back, and I intend to stay this time. It got really crazy last year, and I just couldn't keep up, but I'm doing everything I can to just, keep up this year with this page. I promise. I am bringing you juicy, interesting, useful information as far as the industry is concerned. And let's talk for a minute. How was last year for your business? Especially if you're a wheat transformation expert or you're just in the air industry. I mean, there's so much untapped abundance in that industry. And trust me, if you position yourself properly, you might just be part of the people tapping that abundance in no time. So, allow me to introduce myself. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Bemisola Williams. I'm a wheat transformation expert. And aside from being a wheat transformation expert, I like to encourage people. I like to see people become a better version of themselves. So here on this show on Experience with Bemi, what do we talk about? We talk about hair, the hair industry. We talk about wigs and extensions, and we talk about how to become better versions of ourselves. Because to attract better, you have to be better. To do better, you have to be better. So we strive to be better every day. We are not competing with anybody. We just strive to be better than the person we were yesterday, day before, the previous week, or the previous year. Right? So, if you are ready to have an amazing year online, if you're ready, if you really want to put your business out there online this year, don't go anywhere. I have really juicy information for you. Stay with me. And today we are going to be talking about ways you can actually grow your business online. So, what inspired this? A few days ago, I picked up my phone and I decided to call my previous students, that's people who are taking my classes on how to transform wigs and extensions. And I called one to check up on them and their business, and also to find out what their major challenge will be with the business. And I called 10 people. 8 out of 10 people actually picked up their call, and we had a good discussion about the business. And at the top of the list for their challenge, 8 of them was having how to grow on the gram, how to grow on social media, how to attract the right kind of clients. And yes, during the call, I gave them a few points, I encouraged them and all. And I just felt, why don't I do this to encourage someone that probably hasn't taken my class, or maybe hasn't even heard of me before, and is about to give up on that business. Girl, don't give up. No, don't. So you don't give up around here. Don't give up, especially when you have a conviction in your heart that this business is for you and it's gonna work. So don't give up just yet. You may want to relax and watch this particular video, because I promise you, I really, really promise you, it's going to help you a whole lot. So let's go. If you're trying to grow your business online this year, come on, relax, take a seat, plug in your earpiece, because I don't want you to miss any part of this information, and listen. Okay, let's go. So, before you start going about posting and saying you want to grow online, there are a few questions you need to ask yourself, and you need to be able to answer properly before you start. And what are these questions? First, you want to ask yourself, who are my ideal clients? What is their age? Where do they go? What do they like? You need to be able to define who your ideal client is. Is your ideal client an 18 years old lady, or maybe a 40-year-old lady? What's their age range? What do they do? What makes them happy? You need to be able to answer these questions. You need to be able to identify who your client is. Your ability to answer this question is what will give you the answers you're looking for that would help you to grow. So you're asking yourself, who is my ideal client? What is, you could write it down. The ideal client is a lady between the ages of 18 to 25. I don't know what you want. She's a working class. She's in the average class, middle class, I don't know. Or no, she loves luxury. It just depends on what you want to cater for. You know, what kind of extensions does she like? Where does she go to? Because you may need to actually visit the places, the pages that they visit as well. You know, so if you're able to answer that question, then we are on our way to growing online. Know who your ideal client is. Now that you've been able to answer those questions, now that you know where they go to, where they hang out, which pages they follow, how they, communicate with those pages. Now that you've found out about who, you've been able to define who your ideal client is, then the next question is communication. How do you communicate with your ideal client? Because your page is all about communication. Yes, you're putting out content there. Are they understanding your content? Are they getting the message you're trying to pass across? So let's deal with communication. First, you want to be able to communicate in the language that they understand. And what do I mean by that? For instance, you are, let's just take for instance, your business caters for children, right? And you are there, your content, typically a child cannot understand what you're saying in your content. There's going to be an error, there's going to be a miscommunication there. Or let's say that your ideal client is a very young lady, a lady who is in her teen, a teenager, or say early 20s, who is still all about enjoying her life, and then you show up with content that are actually tailored for older women. It's only a matter of time before they move to the page that cater for their needs. So communication is very, very important. You must be able to communicate in the language that your ideal client understands. Still on communication, you are to put out content that addresses their needs, that shows that you have them in mind. I'll take that again. You must be able to put out content that addresses their needs. So sometimes what many of your audience will be looking for is entertainment. In the midst of the entertainment, they are also looking for information. They are looking for inspiration. So while you are putting out your content, putting out your work for them to see, it has to be entertaining. It has to be inspirational. It has to be informative. You're not just all over the place. Your content has a purpose. And so whenever you set out to, put out that content, you have this at the back of your mind. You have a picture of your ideal client in your head, and you are addressing your ideal client while you're doing your content. Still on communication, you have to always show up. See, this is the best part for me. You have to show up as an expert. Let me take that again. When you're communicating, don't communicate like someone that is guessing. Don't come out looking like you don't really know the work. Show up as an expert in your field. So if you're a bridal hairstylist, please show up as an expert. If you're a wig transformation person, show up as an expert. Show up as a very knowledgeable and skilled person in your field. If yours is just to sell wigs and extensions, then show up as someone that knows really how to make these wigs, really what these wigs are made of. Don't show up clueless. It's not allowed. If you're going to grow on social media, then show up as an expert. In my next video, we're going to be talking about who an expert is. How do you become an expert? Because people, your audience are watching. Forget the fact that they don't like or comment, or they don't act like they are watching you, but trust me, they are watching you, and you want to be mindful of that. So don't show up clueless. If you need to take a class just so you are sure of what you're doing, go ahead and take the class. I promise you, it is worth it. I promise you. We are still on communication. Now that you're showing up as an expert, you also need to communicate the value that you are offering. Don't just come out and say, oh, I'm here for business. Yes, you're here for business, but what is the value you're offering? Why should we pay you? Why should we pay you? How would paying you make our lives better? Keep communicating that value. Don't get tired. They are watching. Trust me, they are watching. They are watching you. Don't get tired of communicating your value. Okay? And that's it on communication. Now, another way that you can help yourself is to stay consistent. You see that word consistency, as it can't be overemphasized. It cannot be overemphasized. You need to stay consistent. If you're going to reap the fruit, then you have to be consistent. Trust me, when they hear you today, you are talking as an expert. Tomorrow, you are entertaining. While you're talking as an expert, you are still entertaining them. You're still giving them useful information. Trust me, anyone that wants value, which are the set of the people you need, is going to stay, is going to patronize you eventually. So you need to be consistent. Show up. Even if it's once a day, show up. Do not underestimate the power of social media. Show up on WhatsApp, show up on Instagram, show up on Facebook, show up wherever. Pick a social media platform that you're really good at, that you're really comfortable with, and show up there. Show up as an expert. Show up as an expert while you are entertaining, while you are educating, while you're giving useful information to your audience. Okay? And I promise you, it's only a matter of time. They will come around. Your business will grow. Your audience will grow organically. Trust me. Social media platforms to in order for these social media platforms to favor you, right? One of the things I used to do is I use hashtags. Search for hashtags that will help so much more people see your post. Use hashtags. You see, the hashtags most times are being overlooked, but trust me, if you use hashtags, you would see the effect. You will. So I don't want you to go and start looking for generic hashtags. Look for local hashtags that talks about your location, what you do, the services you render. So you can say hair laundry in Lagos, hair laundry in Lekki, Lagos. You want to be able to choose hashtags that help people to see you fast. Don't go using hashtags that already has a million posts, over a million posts on it. Trust me, your post is going to get lost in the midst of those million posts. Okay? And another thing you're going to be using is geotags, location tags, geotags. So you want to use geotags. You want to put locations of places that a lot of people visit in your place, in your town. So for instance, I'm in Lekki and I know that a lot of people visit the mall. I could use that as a geotag. If there's some estates where I want people to see my work, I would use those estates as my geotags whenever I'm posting. And that, trust me, goes a really, really, really long way for you. Believe me, it works. Yes, social media is a lot of work, trust me, but it's worth it. It is worth it, especially if you're looking to grow. Social media is a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, but trust me, it is worth it. So when you put in the work, eventually you will see the results. Okay? And in order for social media platforms to in order for these social media platforms to favor you, right? One of the things I used to do is I use hashtags. Search for hashtags that will help so much more people see your post. Use hashtags. You see, the hashtags most times are being overlooked, but trust me, if you use hashtags, you would see the effect. You will. So I don't want you to go and start looking for generic hashtags. Look for local hashtags that talks about your location, what you do, the services you render. So you can say hair laundry in Lagos, hair laundry in Lekki, Lagos. You want to be able to choose hashtags that help people to see you fast. Don't go using hashtags that already has a million posts, over a million posts on it. Trust me, your post is going to get lost in the midst of those million posts. Okay? And another thing you're going to be using is geotags, location tags, geotags. So you want to use geotags. You want to put locations of places that a lot of people visit in your place, in your town. So for instance, I'm in Lekki and I know that a lot of people visit the mall. I could use that as a geotag. If there's some estates where I want people to see my work, I would use those estates as my geotags whenever I'm posting. And that, trust me, goes a really, really, really long way for you. Believe me, it works. Yes, social media is a lot of work, trust me, but it's worth it. It is worth it, especially if you're looking to grow. Social media is a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, but trust me, it is worth it. So when you put in the work, eventually you will see the results. Okay, and that'll be it for this episode, this chapter, or this whatever we want to call it. And that will be it for today's episode on Experience with Billy. I hope you find this information useful. If there's anything, oh yes, I just remembered something. Okay, another thing you can also do is when these people eventually come to you, add some extra service. Go ahead, do some extra thing for them. Oh, I saw your closure is getting ripped. You may want to fix it. If it's just tiny, it won't take you up to 5 minutes. Go ahead and do it for them. Add just something extra. Go extra mile for your clients. Give that personal touch. Add that your personal touch, your signature. I call it my signature. Something that is rare for any other person to do. Any other person doing the same kind of business with me, is going to be rare for that person to do it the exact same way that I do it. I call that my signature. So have your signature, let it be something extra, and give it to your clients and watch them appreciate you. And always when your clients start coming in, tell them you want referrals. Open your mouth, tell them you want referrals, especially when your work is good. They will always refer. And then when you reinforce it to them that, oh yes, I want referrals, I'm trying to grow, you may not put that, but always let them know. And when these referrals come, always remember to appreciate them. Always don't get tired. Keep appreciating them, because they are going to bring you more and more and more potential clients. Okay, so I think that will be it for today. And if you find this information useful, or if you have something that you'd like to add, I'll be in the comment section chatting you up right back. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button on your screen to turn on notification, because I promise I am bringing you juicy, useful, enlightening information this year. Thank you for watching. See you next time.